A spectacular performance. Curry from half court. Sometimes, something looks like it's been there a while.
We are here, the 3 Points podcast, after a 3 weeks hiatus. What was going on in this 3 weeks? I was busy. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out straight. It was me. It was my fault. I apologize to the fans at home. The Warriors, if you've been living under a rock, we lost. We lost in Game 5, May 14th. It is currently June 4th. We lost. It was expected. We knew it. We knew it. And at the 3PP channel, we knew that we're going to lose. And it wasn't a shocker. It wasn't a surprise. I wasn't that disappointed personally because I kind of I kind of knew it. The second I saw Steph with that grabbing his thigh, I was like, it's Jover, it's wraps. And we gave it our all. We gave it our best. There was a lot of close games that could have went our way, but obviously they didn't, and we didn't deserve it. We weren't the better team. We weren't the better teams than the Timberwolves. Um, as for the gap afterwards, that's on me. I've been on my travel slay. Been traveling, been thriving. Shout out, shout out me. I'm currently back in Normal, Illinois. About a year ago, we were recording the Celtics and the uh, he
The
Celtics and
Mavs.
the Mavs, Celtics and the
Yeah.
Mavs finals. I was also here then, so I'm back again. I'm a normal native. What can I say? So, without further ado, I think we're gonna just. I feel like there's no point of really recapping the last game unless Wes or Thomas, you guys have some really thing you've been containing within yourself for the last 3 weeks that you just have to take out today right now. Um, we lost. It was the same old, same old. Struggling offense for the most part. Defense was all right, but just couldn't get it done. Anything else you guys want to say? It's been kind of the same we've been repeating for the entirety of the series.
I mean, yeah, it was just kind of a shitty game. I think by the like fourth quarter I was basically tuned out and I mean going into it I'd already pretty much written off this season, so it's just not a game that stuck in my memory that much, to be honest. Kind of one that I've already wiped.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same sentiment as on like once Steph went out, it's kind of inevitable that we lose that game. But I do think that if Steph was healthy, we had a good chance, and I would have
For sure,
picked
for sure.
us.
I think even after watching the series, if Steph, I remember in the beginning of my prediction was us in five. I stand by that. Without Steph, we kind of gave them some tricky times in some of the games in some crucial moments. So I take us in five with the Steph. Now for the rest of the league, what's going on since that's happened? The Timberwolves and the Thunder played in the Western Conference Finals. The Wolves won. The Thunder won
Five, I
in
think.
five,
Five
if I'm not
games.
mistaken. Right? Shea won the Western Conference Finals MVP. Now on the Eastern side, we had the Pacers and the
A lot
Knicks
of
in the
stuff
Eastern
happened.
Conference Finals. That was entertaining as hell. Super duper fun series. Um, the Pacers, shockingly, at least in my opinion, won in six, which was phenomenal. I
Yes.
do have a question for you guys. Do you guys think Siakam deserved the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, or do you guys think it should have been what the hell?
I mean, from my point of view, it was he literally won it by one vote, so it's kind of like as close as it possibly could have gotten. I think like Tyrese is definitely their best player. I think like most of us would say that, but I guess Pascal you could say had the more consistent series, whereas like see, obviously Tyrese had his moments, and when they were at their best, it was because of Tyrese. But I mean, for me, it could go 50-50. I'm not too heartbroken, and obviously the votes kind of showed us like 50-50. So
I have to admit, I always do kind of lean to like unless the second best player on the team has a fucking phenomenal series, like way beyond the best player. I'm always one to lean to just give it to the best player. Like everybody knows Tyrese is the best player on the team. He had a pretty good series. Like you take him off versus taking Siakam off. I think they lose a lot more when if you take him off. Personally, I would have given it to him. And like Wes said, I mean, obviously there were voters that agreed. It was just, Siakam had some big scoring nights in games that they won. And that's a lot of times what ends up winning you, the MVP trophy. I don't think it's some, travesty. But yeah, I
Yeah,
would have
I
given it to
wouldn't
him.
say it's a travesty. I just think it's funny because, especially for us Warriors fans, we have a take on this because our best player got screwed, right? Steph got
Well, that
screwed.
was, I mean, that was even fucking dumber because it
No,
wasn't
no,
even like
I mean, that was just.
Iguodala
I
had
mean,
a
that's
great
just
scoring
stupid. Yeah,
series.
it's just stupid. I
They
mean,
just
that
invented a reason.
objectively, yeah, to
Yeah,
reverse glaze LeBron. It was literally reverse LeBron glaze. Again, I'm
exactly.
not a LeBron hater no more. I love LeBron James, but that is just reverse LeBron glaze. Like they couldn't give it to LeBron, so they're like, all right, what's that closest second? You know what I mean? So definitely, whenever I see something like this, where I feel for Halliburton because I also agree with you, Thomas. He was the best player. He did hit that crazy shot in like game two or whatever that kind of took
Yeah,
an
it's not like he didn't
OT.
have moments,
He had that iconic, the
Yeah,
choking a lot. So I would have also given it to Halliburton, but I guess statistically, because I know Siakam was uber efficient, if I'm not
he
mistaken.
was. I mean, it was a
So
they definitely don't win that series. I mean, well, I mean, they won in five, so who knows what happens? Maybe
didn't they win
they
it in
won in six.
six?
Who knows? Sorry, they won in six.
Six,
So maybe I was gonna say, but like if
I thought
he
they won it in
doesn't,
six.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. But I was gonna say if he doesn't have that one, what did he put up in that one game? Like
like 39,
something. Yeah, like
maybe
they probably
41.
don't win that game, so then they might not win the series. So like I understand it. He had the big night when they needed him to have the big night, and that again, that's narrative wise, that's what's going to get you the trophy. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I think so now the finals have been set up. We're gonna have a new champ. I'm honestly really happy with either one that wins. The Thunder, they deserve it. This is probably, I mean, okay, look, again, it's recently biased. It's like maybe it's casual take because obviously I'm not a PhD for NBA history whatsoever, but is this the greatest rebuild of all time?
I mean, I've heard a
You
lot
you
of
know
people.
I
the
mean, it's got to
Warriors,
be
right?
really, really. I mean, no, but the thing is that this is like so
The
meticulously
Warriors, right?
planned.
The one that we
No,
did,
brother, what I no, and
building a
I would actually
decades
disagree
long
with
core
that.
that won four
No,
championships.
I would wholeheartedly disagree with that because we had a lot of luck on our side. This was like planned. This was like a 2K sim rebuild where they had picks, where they chose good players. It was literally like a 2K sim. Again, recency bias. I'm not, this is off the top of my head. I'm not really thinking about it really, super deeply. But I mean, it's got to be up there. It was such a phenomenal. Moving on from Westbrook, KD era, they're moving on from the Westbrook, Melo, PG era to just building like a really, really. I don't mean you guys
Melo
are
era.
laughing,
That's
but
so funny.
I mean that was, I mean, hey P, you
One
know what I mean?
year.
That was, I mean, that was the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Hey
So,
P.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
so
there is a reason that people say Sam Presti is like one of, if not the greatest GMs of all time. Like he's like they haven't even won a championship yet, but just this roster construction is like pretty impeccable. I would say like Bob Myers is also up there, but like for different reasons, I guess. Like he didn't really rebuild the Warriors. Like he wasn't. I don't think he drafted Steph. He might have drafted Dre and Clay, but like
It was Jerry
he got
West. Rest in peace, legend.
yeah. But he did a good job. Like once we were at the top of like maintaining us our talent talent level for a while. But I think Sam Presti's just like his the draft picks, like you said, like the kind of transitioning from that kind of like you're kind of in hellscape when you have Russ, PG, and Melo, and you somehow turn Paul George into SGA and draft picks that eventually probably became Case on Wallace, I'm pretty sure. And then you pick Chet with the second pick. He's injured this year, and yet it still doesn't matter just because of how deep your team is. Like you pick guys to kind of fill the right spots in your team, like Caruso, Case on Wallace, Caruso, and who's the other vet or what's his name? Their center, Hartenstein. Those are two
Yeah,
huge signings that
Hardenstein.
are kind of like
Yeah.
underrated, like kind of on the margins, but yet they kind of catapulted them because this is largely the same roster as last year, but yet they're kind of vastly so much better compared from last year to this year, just because of kind of two what some people would say like small signings, but obviously kind of it made their defense one of the greatest defenses of all time and kind of amplified kind of what they already had. So I think he's got to be up
yeah,
there.
I mean, again, like when I say like it really was like it feels like a 2K sim. It feels like Kenny came in the fourth quarter, friend of the pod, colleague of the pod, regular attendee of the pod. He he got the controller. He said, "Yo, let me cook something up for the Thunder." And it seems like in the year 2025, the episode's gonna end. It's been like a 45-minute long episode. He started the sim in 2K16, and 2025 they're about to win. You know what I mean? Thomas, you're gonna say something before I kind of
I was
interjected
just gonna
in.
say, like, the one thing I've seen a lot of people compare it to is the process. Because Like that was one of the only like attempted rebuilds that kind of compared to how deeply they tore everything down. Like to the point that you have people like accusing the Thunder basically, putting a black mark on the league because they're being so uncompetitive and they're obviously so intentionally tanking. And obviously when what's his face, Hinkie tried that with the process, it ended up not working out. And a lot of people use that as ammo to kind of say like, hey, like this level of like shameless tanking is it's just not gonna work. Like it's too you don't want to go that far. Like you're putting yourself in too deep of a hole. And yet, here the Thunder are he was able to make it work. And like you're saying, that's I think when you're saying like in terms of like a true like 2K rebuild, like the modern understanding of rebuild, because back in the for the first like 50 years of the league, teams didn't really do it to the degree that they do it now. It's probably the first one where you're like, okay, this 100% like without a doubt worked. And they're setting themselves up for like 4 or 5 years at least. I mean, because of the way that the new CBA is, like the salaries are going to get complicated, but minimum Shea, Chet, and J-Dub, they're going to be able to lock them up and bring in, role players around them. So they're going to have a window that's going to go for the next like 5 years at least.
which is
Yeah.
massive. Like I really love that. I really do. Homegrown talent for the most part. Shea obviously with the Clippers then came here, but still, like it's beautiful.
Shout
It
out
is really,
Kawhi.
really nice. Yeah. It's
Dude, they owe such a debt to Kawhi. If he's not such a diva and doesn't make the Clippers trade for Paul George, the whole thing never happens. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is massive. So, and I think before kind of moving on to the Warriors offseason, kind of where our specialties lie, I'm gonna just let's briefly kind of give our predictions for the finals, and then for the fans at home, we're gonna get back to kind of our traditional style of a game by game analysis. Obviously, this is not going to be as great analysis as for the Warriors. We are Warriors fans, we are Warriors professionals, we are diehard Warriors fans. We have lives outside of this. So we are not able to watch every game every day for the entirety of the season. So don't expect our takes to be 1,000% on the dot. Hey, we may say some casual takes, but hey, that's how you learn, that's how you grow, that's how you have some fun. So my take, I think the Thunder are going to win it. I think they're going to win the 2025 NBA championship. Although I want the Pacers to win. I really like Halliburton. I really do like him. I like Siakam as well. Um, smaller market team as well, right?
Yeah, they're
Oh
both
Based
yeah,
in
smaller.
I mean
Indiana,
both
right?
are. Yeah.
Both are small market team, but is Indiana smaller, right? Because like Indiana,
Indianapolis and Oklahoma
I mean,
City, I bet they're
Oklahoma.
damn near the same size.
actually, it's true, yeah, Oklahoma, yeah. But I mean, I guess in the past, right? Because they had KD, Westbrook, they had Paul George, so they had some sort of hype
Like fan
I mean,
base.
you're absolutely
fan
okay. Yeah.
base.
So for just to throw out some stats, Indianapolis 879,000, Oklahoma City 702,000 people. So Indianapolis is technically a slightly bigger market. But on the other hand, they have been bad for so long. I mean, they've had some decent seasons, but they have not been contenders for so long. Like you kind of feel like they deserve something. Although on the other hand, OKC like they've had their hearts broken with that KD era. So many
It's
runs that
funny.
didn't go anywhere.
I was seeing like both teams that are in the finals are both ex Paul George teams. So like, shout out Paul George. A piece of you was winning a chip this season.
The
Good for you,
dynasty
man.
ends after you, or the dynasty begins
Yeah.
after you, as Draymond said.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think the Thunder are going to win it. Now, in how many games? I really have no clue whatsoever. I'll just say five. I think it'll be like I guess the point I'm trying to say is that it'll be a dominating win by the Thunder. Although I don't want that to happen. You two, go ahead.
I feel the same way. I feel like I'm gonna give them a little more respect. I'll say like six, just because like the Mavs. I think the talent level between like Celtics and Mavs is larger than I think these two teams are closer in talent, so I think it's gonna go a little longer. But I still am gonna take Thunder in six. Just they're gonna neutralize what's his name, Tyrese, but I think Pascal's gonna have a all right series. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, the one thing I've seen people throw out is like the Thunder force a shit ton of turnovers, and the Pacers they don't
Pacers.
turn the ball over like at all. Like they have the lowest turnover rate in the league, so maybe that could be something the Pacers could, that could be maybe their ticket to winning a few games. But just watching these Thunder games, they just run teams out of the building in good teams. I mean, the Timberwolves, so many of those games didn't even look competitive. So I just have a tough time believing they're going to be able to take it more than six. So I'm gonna go OKC in six. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll be competitive. I just don't want another kind of depressing, boring finals, but I'm a little bit scared. That's what we might get.
All right. Well, those are our takes. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow, day after tomorrow. We're gonna be back. Hopefully, be consistent again. Um, so let's put our phones on silent, please. Disturbing the podcast. No big deal. I
I
think.
just got a message about a job opportunity. So
the
He's gonna leave the pod once he gets the job.
mailman, the U.S. Post Office needs you. Honestly, that job is under. I would actually kind of take it as a summer job. Imagine the amount of steps you get. You got to be averaging like 25 to 30,000 steps,
Yeah,
I
easily.
mean, I
Nine
mean,
to
yeah.
five.
bro. Because like, okay, I'm not talking about like the driving one, but like the bros with
Like
like the.
it would be insanely tedious. Like I think you would just get bored of that. Like I guess every fucking job is yeah, it would probably be pretty cool for summer. I
Yeah, and
think.
also like it depends. Like if you like walking, like I already walk. Like okay, if I'm walking already 2 hours, I could do that while putting mail in mailboxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
just put your
true.
headphones in and
It's true.
Exactly. Put your
Yeah.
headphones in, listen to your Nusrat Ali Khan, your Muhammad Sami, uh, your Surah Yasin. You can listen to your kind of whatever floats your boat. Yeah, you know what I mean. So,
Drake.
anyways, kind of. Sorry, what? I missed the last part.
Drake. Drake. The boy.
Uh, the
The
boy,
six
I'm not
gun.
familiar. I'm not familiar. So, moving, kind of stepping back, a little pivot step back to where we were earlier. Um, let's sit down and talk about the Warriors, the offseason. What's the plan for the future? Look, okay, I'm going to start by just saying this. I am very optimistic for the next season. Why is that? The day that Jimmy Buckets came to the Golden State Warriors, he had to immediately go into playoff Jimmy. We were the 11th seed. We were not even in the plan. He had to come in and lock in and play at a high level. 100% effort, 100% energy, no breaks, no off days, high pressure situation. Now that does lead to fatigue, and that kind of bled into the playoffs. And obviously, he kind of broke his booty, and that didn't help. And then obviously, Steph, his thigh, that wasn't helpful. So these guys were exhausted. These guys were very much exhausted. They're not young, 35 to 37. Draymond, I think, is like 32, 34. These some old dudes, bro. You know what I mean? So I think with the resting of the offseason, them slowly coming back, the regular season, you know how it is. It's kind of a joke in the NBA now. Like no one really cares until like post All-Star season. So more or less, they come back, they're healthier, they're chilling. Now, Kaminga almost definitely walks, right, guys? Like, or what do we like? Has there been any update to his situation whatsoever?
Yeah, there has been. The Nets, he basically, I mean, they didn't officially quote unquote come out and say it, but through their media, they basically released a statement saying we don't want to, or we have no interest. So that was considered by a lot of people to be the number one target because like they're kind of the ideal team for him. Like they don't have a guy. They're the type of team that could take a shot on giving him a medium, decent sized contract and giving him like 3 years to try to prove himself as the guy. And then if it doesn't work out, you'd let go of him. A lot of other teams, you start to look around and you're like, why would they really want this guy? Because the reality is like you put him on your team, you let him get on the court. He's gonna be, if you're a young team, he's gonna be taking possessions away from your other young guys. Like if you're the Bulls and you want to get Buzelis reps, or if you're the fucking who's another team has been the
Hornets.
Bulls is the other team I've seen, but it's like, yeah, like why would the Bulls? I mean, you had Buzelis who looked great his rookie year, or the Wizards. You have Bub Carrington, you have Sar. These are guys that looked as promising in their rookie years as Kaminga has probably looked at any point in his career. Do they really want to be bringing Kaminga to play 35 minutes a game and put up 17 shots? Like a lot of the teams that you see Kaminga being mocked to in sign and trade deals, you start to wonder. I mean, and the Nets kind of confirmed it. They said we don't want him. You start to wonder, like, do these teams really have any interest in this guy? And so that's going to be the issue is if you can't get a sign and trade, what do you do? He's a restricted free agent, so you could start him off by offering him $8 million a year and seeing if anybody's going to take him from you. And I'm sure he would, not appreciate that. And then, I mean, that'd be a whole nother thing. But like, so that's kind of discussion that's going on is like, do you just try to lowball him in your restricted free agency and see if you can't get a massive deal or massive discount on his contract? But then on the other hand, does that create issues and tensions? I'm sure it would because he's a
I mean,
baby.
exactly. Not only
But
that, and even let's say he signs it. I mean, we had issues this season with him playing. That doesn't solve our issues. The contract has not been an issue. It's not like, oh, we've been saying, oh man, if we could only re-sign him for a cheaper price. No, it's been like, yo, get
yeah,
him out of here, low key. Low key, we appreciate you, Jonathan Kaminga. We appreciate you. You're talented. You've had your great moments. We just don't fit with the roster. You don't fit with the now. You know what I mean? So that doesn't solve our issues if he takes a cheap contract. In fact, it'll make it a lot worse because he'll be pissy about it.
Yeah, there's not really a way to win, it seems like. I mean, I was saying my mindset is just like we're still pretty far away. Like if OKC is the benchmark that like I think come back next season, I think we beat Minnesota fully healthy, but if OKC is the benchmark, we definitely gotta kind of make some pretty major moves and Kaminga would ideally be part of that. But yeah, if the sign and trade situation for like a Cam Johnson, for instance, is not really there, it's kind of tough to
Yeah, that
pivot because that would be so nice, honestly. He would fit in so well.
Yeah, that would be
It's
like,
like
I
the
mean, but that's like a
antithesis
little
of
bit too
Kaminga.
perfect for us guys.
Well, Brooklyn, that's kind of like why he was kind of the Brooklyn was the sign and trade targets to get a guy like Cam Johnson. But yeah, without that,
It doesn't seem
it's
like that's happening. And then it's like, okay, and then if we, I mean, can we just not offer Kaminga a contract? Or, oh, you said he's unrestricted, meaning that he still has a year left on his
he's a he's restricted. So what that means is the Warriors can match any contract that comes in.
But what
So
if we
if
don't
nobody
want to?
offers him a contract, well, that's the thing. Yeah, you could let him walk, but I don't think I think that's just not going to happen because the front office, if you tell the front office, well, nobody else wants him, so you can get him back for 8 million a year or 10 million a year, I think they're going to do that. But I mean, maybe because again, we're like entering so far into the hypothetical. Okay, let's imagine this hypothetical scenario. So Kaminga, he thinks he's worth $35 million. He tries to test out the free agent market. He asks around to teams. He says, what do you think I'm worth? What will you pay me?" And they say, "Nothing. We don't want you." And he has to crawl back to the Warriors, and they say, "We'll give you 12 million a year." Like, do you think that humbles him? Do you think that maybe snaps him into reality and helps him accept a different role? Motivates him to work on his weaknesses. I don't know. Does it? Like, that's what I'm just thinking. But I mean, obviously, this is a huge hypothetical. You'd think there'd be some team that's willing to give him at least like 20. Then at the same time, it's just like who out there wants a Kaminga? He's a tough guy to make work with other players. He's just a tough guy to make fit into your roster. Yeah.
yeah, stuff. I mean, he did not want to adjust his play style to kind of what the Warriors need, which is like a tough defender, good cutter, but he just likes to. I mean, in the Minnesota, like even in some games this postseason, his best games were kind of without Steph and him kind of playing ISO a lot of the time when it was kind of just him and Jimmy as our two primary scorers, and that's just at our best. It's not really compatible with what we want to do. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of suck. I mean, there's other contracts that we could potentially like move off of
Yeah, I mean,
to
exactly. So like,
like
let's say like,
Moody.
okay, so Kaminga doesn't work. I mean, what other moves do you think we need to do as the Warriors franchise? Like, okay, like you mentioned Moody, Pods. What do we do? Like, I don't. I mean, again, I think they're good role players, and I think hopefully they progress because they got a lot of great experience this season. The conservative nature in me kind of says we just keep them. Kaminga's kind of been the biggest gap, but I do think we need a little promotion in our
Young guys.
uh no, not young guys, our role players. Because let's say right now we're like, I would say maybe we're like a B plus, maximum B plus if like everyone's on. We need to be in like A minus A territory if we want to really get a push to win a chip. And now what does that mean? Like if we could like that Cam Johnson potential hypothetical would have been amazing. I think that could push us to solid B plus A minus range. But it really just the concerning scary thing for me is the uh inconsistent what's the word I'm looking for?
Role players, right? I
No,
mean,
streaky performances that Paz and Moody had, especially in the playoffs. That was really, really tough to see. And it's like, oh man, we cannot. If you guys do that next season, it's like, all right, bro, this is like the window is closing. We really need to do something now. So I don't know what direction the Warriors like. Hey, do you do a package with Pods, Moody, and Kaminga? Or Kaminga? Sorry, you wouldn't be able to do Kaminga, but like Pods and Moody with like I don't know something else like that. I really don't know, but that's where I guess I would ask you guys, like, what do you guys think we could do that could take us to this A minus A territory?
Just to like talk about some other stuff that's been floated, in media or whatever. Like a big one is Kobe White, a potential deal with the Bulls for Kobe White. That's another team. Like, okay, maybe they're not interested in Kuminga, but they might be interested in Moody. They might be interested in Pods. They definitely will be interested in draft picks, and they definitely will be interested in taking on big bad contracts for draft picks. So the Warriors don't really have like an albatross contract that we can offload, like a giant contract that we gave to a player and it doesn't, and they didn't live up to it. Like all our big contracts are guys that we need to keep. We have, it's Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy. Those three, like we're not moving any of those guys. So like offloading picks and with a contract, it's a little bit tougher when we don't have a big contract to offload. So you'd probably be looking at trading a young guy, and if it's not Kuminga, because again, I don't think they've shown any interest in Kuminga either. I don't think they're preparing an offer sheet for him. Like that, probably then you're looking at Pods or Moody, maybe both for Kobe White, plus maybe a pick. Like, does that like to me? I have to say this is just me personally because I am always about win now. I would do that. Like I would snap my fingers, do that instantly. I can't snap my fingers, but for effect, if I could, I would have. But yeah, I mean, I would do that instantly, right now. Pods Moody, give me and a first for Kobe White because he's only 26. He's been around for a while, but he's not as old as I think you might think. So
Yeah, and
I,
he
I
kind of
would do
does
that
do
immediately.
that Jordan Poole role for us, like just a good scorer. You know what I mean? I don't know how he is as a playmaker and defender. Do you guys know?
Not that
He's a
good, I don't
decent
think.
playmaker, and I think he's small. So I don't think he's a particularly awful defender, but he's certainly not going to be an impact player on that end. But
Regardless,
the big
he
thing
would
is
still do that sixth man role,
yeah,
which is what we've desperately needed. We wanted Kuminga to do that, he couldn't. We wanted Paz to do that, he couldn't. Obviously, Moody, we never expected that anyways. But Paz and Kuminga are kind of the biggest. I think essentially, look, we have two options. Either we basically choose to move on from all three of these guys, Kuminga, Moody, Paz, or we move on from Kaminga and Pods, or we move on from Kaminga and Moody. Like Kaminga is moving on, I think, in my opinion, for sure. It
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense for me to me if he's here. Even on a low contract, he'll be pissy about it. He doesn't fit with the roster, he doesn't fit with the culture. It just makes zero sense. Right? Now, as for Moody and Pods, I really don't know what the front office is thinking here. I agree with you, Thomas. I used to be really hesitant about that. Like, oh, we need like let's build for the future, but we gotta build for the now at this point, right? Because Butler's here, Curry's here. I think we trade the three of them, the two of them, Moody and Potts. Maybe even Post. Post had a great season. Maybe he has like his value could be decent. Just trade it. I would do it in a heartbeat as well because we need to win now. We need to win this season. I wouldn't even give us a season after the season because that gets dangerously old. Steph is old as hell. Butler is old as hell. You know what I mean? Already we got these injuries, these like fatigue, all these things going on. I can't risk the next season. We got to win now. So I don't know. I think we kind of move on from these guys as well. Again, I don't know what trade packages it could be. Like, I feel like maybe we could do like an interesting video. We kind of find like ChatGPT. We use some LLMs like DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Grok. See what ideas they could throw at us, and we kind of pitch them in an episode. We could check that out later. But yeah, I don't know. Wes, you've been kind of quiet. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like one thing with Paz is that he's on a pretty solid contract and he is like he did have a pretty so-so postseason, but he is like pretty connective and like he's pretty like kind of opposite of Kuminga. He's much more intelligent, I guess, with like moving the basketball and all that. But it is kind of tough to kind of it's kind of tough to kind of straddle the two of like who do you keep and who do you let go of just because his contract is pretty solid as opposed to I mean, honestly, Moody's contract is the only big one that we would maybe want to move off of. I like Buddy's contract for the most part. But yeah, Moody is definitely like the young guy that would probably have to be included in a trade. One way or another, I think Kuminga's out of here. Like whether we like I mean, like you said, I don't think we keep him on a small contract because it's probably gonna be like a sit out type situation. It seems like I don't think he would really want to play for us if he's on like a 8 mil deal. So it's definitely gonna get pretty, I feel like petty on his way out, kind of both ways. So that'll be interesting. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Thomas.
Oh, I was just saying, then the other big question is free agency. Because I mean, the Warriors do have we've moved off of now uh, Gary Payton and Kevon Looney. Their deals have expired. So that's cap space that's freed up. And now, to be fair, like knowing the Warriors front office, that cap space could immediately be used to resign both of them because we love keeping around our lovable veterans. But if you ask me, that's like 17 mil of cap space that could be better spent on like anybody else. Um, and then again, also with the Kuminga situation, like if you do move off of him, and maybe because his value isn't as great as a lot of people think, you don't end up getting any major impact players in return. You're still moving off of salary, so that could be another way to open up more cap space. So free agency for the Warriors, that could be. I think it's been a few years since the Warriors have really been major players in free agency outside of, like mid-level exception, like veteran type deals. But when you start looking at the guys who might be available, like you have Miles Turner, you have Brooke Lopez, you have Clint Capella, you have
Bruce
Karis
Brown.
LeVert,
How do we feel about Bruce Brown?
Bruce Brown, Luke Kennard, even D'Angelo
Huge
Russell.
piece. He was. I mean, D'Lo. Don't even talk about. Don't even say his name.
I
But
know.
Bruce Brown, huge piece of the Nuggets 2023 chip. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind if he could kind of
DFS.
be that DFS. Sorry.
Finney Smith. I mean, he was one of the like
Oh, Jordan
originally with the
Finney-Smith.
Nets. It was like him, Cam Johnson. He was originally kind of part of the trade talks earlier on in the season. So I mean, I'd definitely be fine with him. And he played pretty well in the Lakers.
Steven Adams. I mean, low key, Steven Adams rebounding.
Steven Adams is another guy who's been getting a lot of buzz from like Warriors Twitter and stuff because like the contract probably won't because I mean he's admittedly as great as he is in his role, he does have a limited role, so the contract is probably going to be reasonable. But for what the Warriors need, or for what for the space he could fill in our team, he would make a lot of sense. Him and Clint Capella are both in that tier where like they're on the downturn age wise. They're not the same guys they once were, but they could definitely fill a role that we need. And I think their contracts are pretty similar. So I would be like those two are both guys I would really love to go after, assuming we were also going after some kind of playmaking guard like a Kobe White or shot making guard like Kobe White in
Chris Paul.
the trade market. If we, dude, Steve Kerr's like, please Bob Myers, please. Oh wait, it's not even Bob Myers anymore. Please Mike Dunleavy, please sign him. But yeah, I mean, that would be like for me again. If you're thinking about like the ideal offseason, it would be get off of Kuminga somehow. Whether maybe you're not even getting anything of value really, you're getting some kind of smaller contract role player in return for him. Use our young guys plus picks to take a swing on again. I keep mentioning Kobe White, but there's other players that have been mentioned. I know Malik Monk has been mentioned. There's at least one more I've been thinking of, Cam Thomas, which is like, I mean, and Nets don't seem to have any interest, so probably not. But a guy like that, and then plus a veteran role player big who could take some of the minutes away from Draymond, especially in the regular season, so that he doesn't wear himself out. And I think that would be like damn near as good as we could do, really.
Yeah, I like that blueprint, honestly.
I
mean,
do as
again,
well.
It's just a
So
blueprint.
when do we think that like around when do the trades and stuff get more aggressive? Because I know the trade deadline is deep into the season, right? Not deep into the season. It's like
It's like yeah, it's like post All-Star break. But I mean the free agency doesn't open up until after the finals are over. So like when the quote unquote offseason officially starts is it's gonna be post finals. And that's when free agency opens up. And then once free agency opens up, also teams start getting more interested in trades because you're trying to figure out salaries, open up space. That's when the whole like the watch bomb season starts. So
all right. So we got
yeah.
some time. I think the free agent market looks pretty promising for us too. Like I really do like this, like Clint Capella being there,
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams as well. So those two guys I really kind of have my eye on. Bruce Brown, I also low-key also have my eye on as well. Don't know, like maybe James Harden if he takes like a massive pay cut.
James Harden is a player option. I'm pretty sure he's gonna accept that.
Yeah, you're right. He's a player. You are right.
Player option for $36 million.
Yeah. So
Probably
we will
that.
see. LeBron maybe he could reject it and then join the Golden State Warriors. That would be a 2K Sim-esque. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty optimistic. I think truthfully, I have faith in Mike Dunleavy. He has done great stuff. He got rid of Jordan Poole ASAP. Yeah, Chris Paul sucked, but he still got us over that Jordan Poole thing immediately. We got rid of like some difficult stuff. We got Jimmy Butler. We did elite after Jimmy Butler came. So I have faith in you, Dunleavy. I'm really excited to see what moves you do. And other than that, I don't think I have much more to say. Yeah. Oh, I mean, did you guys see the Zion Williamson controversy?
Oh yeah.
God, he's such a, like I feel like when I see him, it's just such a it makes my respect. I don't care. I know it's glazed. I know it's glazed. But it makes my respect for LeBron increase tenfold.
Oh,
You got into the league at the age of 18. You are the chosen one. You are this, you are that, you are blah, blah, blah. Then you fast forward 20 something years later, you are the second best player for sure, if not the greatest as well. You are a top player in the league, even at this age. You're a billionaire. You are like a family man. You got kids. Your son is in the league. You are just and then you look at a guy like Zion. You look at a guy like Ben Simmons. It's honestly, it's like every time I look at Zion, it's like it just gets worse for bro. It literally it just gets worse. It's shocking, man. Like, I mean, there's nothing more to say. Like, yeah, okay, boo-hoo. Like, on the flip side, it's like, okay, wow, poor guy, sulking in millions and millions and millions of dollars. But it's more about like the potential of what could have been, right? He's basically at the bottom of what he could. I mean, I guess at least he didn't like die and he didn't miss out on like millions of dollars, right? He still got signed a massive contract. Was it a supermax? It was probably a supermax, right? So it's like,
probably.
I don't actually know what is his contract? Because I mean, he just hasn't been in the league that long. Like, what extension did they give him?
Making 40 mil.
Yeah, $200 million contract. I mean,
5 year,
that's not a super max, but yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
pretty damn
boo-hoo,
nice.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's just sad. Nothing more to it. Like, all right, bro.
Do something.
Yeah,
Dude, what are the Pelicans doing, bro? It's hellscape.
they're gonna. I mean, I
I mean,
think
it's just
a lot
tough.
of those
Like,
guys could be
what
on the
can you
move this
do?
offseason.
I mean, a lot of those guys should be on the move. If I'm the Pelicans, I'm
Yes.
shipping Zion, bro.
That's another. Speaking of guys, the Warriors could maybe think of CJ McCollum
Oh, yeah, maybe.
for
Yeah,
a
Well, he's
veteran
making-
scorer, playmaker.
Yeah, I
Like,
could kind of see that, to be
He's
honest.
making 30 mil, but he's
You
already
know.
making 30 million.
I mean, in
Like-
today's NBA, 30 mil is like, it's not the worst thing in the
True.
world. Mingo
True.
wants 30 mil, so who would you rather go? Who would you rather have on 30 mil? That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's true, actually, to be honest. That is a good point. But, all right, well, I think we're going to leave it off to that. We got the NBA Finals starting. We got the Stanley Cup Finals starting today. Of course, we're going for the
The Panthers.
absolute. No,
Edmonton
we're going for the
Oilers.
Oilers,
The
bro.
Edmonton
Come on.
Oilers.
Like,
Connor
come
McDavid.
on. Connor
McJesus.
McJesus? Come on, the chosen one? Come on now. We're absolutely going for the Oilers. I put the Oilers in 4. It's a clean sweep. It's a sweep. There is no chance for the Panthers. It's over for them. Excited for that as well. How are the Giants doing, Thomas? I'm kind of out of the loop for the MLB. Oh no. That's heartbreaking. They're not doing good.
Well, it's especially frustrating because they've lost, I think, like 3 straight games on 1-run losses, which is really, really tough, including 2 straight games they've given away in the 9th inning. I mean, it's kind of crazy how similar the story is season to season for the Giants. Like, not only the fact like they start off super hot in April, by May they're like, oh wait, what's going on? What's going on? And then by June it's like, ooh. So not only that, and then also the fact that the fucking every single year the pitching staff elite, like chef's kiss, no notes. The lineup disaster. No matter how many guys we bring in, no matter how many guys we fucking promote from the minors, how many guys we sign, the offense always finds a way to be fucking dog shit. So until that changes, yeah. So it's been a frustrating few weeks as a Giants fan.
Look. At least we're only 4 games behind the Dodgers, so we're not knocked out yet. But I will say, who are the highlights or stars for our offense right now?
You have to give like first shout out to Elio Ramos, All-Star first time last year. A lot of people said, "Ooh, like the underlying numbers don't look great. Like, could it be a fluke? You know, he wasn't a super like hype prospect. Maybe he just had a lucky year." Phenomenal. Came back this season even better. He's looking like a guy we can rely on going forward. Matt Chapman, reliable. He's continued to be consistent. Jung-Hoo Lee, he's been living up to his contract. Those 3 guys are like, it's like, you know how Steph is like the only guy. Like for like it was like pre Jimmy, like Steph was the only guy. Like those three guys combined are like the Giants staff right now. Like they
Okay.
just can only do so much. Everybody else,
How about that
no
guy,
shows,
Mike? Mike?
disappearing act. He's all right. I mean, he's a role player type dude. You can't blame, he's doing fine. He's like 770 OPS. Like for him, that's what you want out of him. But Wilmer
How
Flores started off
about
hot.
how
He's
about
completely
my man? How about my man Duvall?
Duvall regained the closer job, just blew a save last night.
How about my man
Vintage Duvall couldn't
Logan
find the
Webb?
fucking zone.
Logan Webb.
Logan Webb, the poor guy. This guy is pitching out of his mind. They can't do anything for him. 8 shutout innings, you still lose. How does it happen
No,
again and
no,
again?
that's heartbreaking.
Dude, him and Robbie Ray, the dynamic duo on our pitching staff, they're both pitching well enough to be like Cy Young candidates. Can't get a fucking one out of either of them because again, the offense just will not show up for them. It is, I mean,
That's actually heartbreaking.
the narrative is pretty clear on this team. Like it is, like I am definitely it's a certain narrative that I'm pushing, but generally speaking, it is true. Like pitching staff is great, lineup just can't be counted on. Yeah, I mean
So
it's
in this, so how many games are we into the season right now?
we're about just over a third of the way in the season. I want to say about 60
Okay, so
something
there's still
games.
plenty of time left. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
think there's
yeah.
any trades or anything going on, or do you think we're just gonna stick with this lineup till the end?
I mean, look, baseball is the MLB has always been one of the most active leagues in terms of like like the trade deadline in the MLB, very active every year. So
Okay.
teams that are bad usually sell, teams that are good usually buy. But the problem is, I'm very cynical about this Giants team because like when a team's been mediocre for like 3 seasons in a row, you start to get really cynical. And I've seen them pull this exact same progression, especially for the last 2 seasons,
No,
2023,
yeah, even
2024.
even since I've started watching, like that, it's just been like rinse and
Yeah,
repeat. They always start off a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
hot, and then
So the question is,
I mean, look, the good news is at least there's no
are we going to be
injuries,
good
right?
enough by the deadline for it to matter? You know?
Yeah.
If we
Just
bring in a
wanna
bat at the deadline, but we're already 7 games out or 10 games out,
look
it
as an
doesn't matter
MLB
that much.
casual, as a massive casual. First of all, how much out are we from the wild card currently?
We're not that far out. I think we're at most like a half game, 1 game.
Okay, so I think as long as we stay like within 5 games from the Dodgers for the first seed, right? Same thing in MLB.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, you mean I don't even remember if they called them seeds or whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing. First seed.
yeah, and then we stay like 2 games out of the wild card. We're doing all right, and right now we're doing okay. I don't know. Again, major MLB casual, so I have to go to my MLB expert. So with that being said, I think we're gonna call it there. We're gonna catch you guys as the finals progress. Have a good one.